Mula sa kabisera ng Inglaterra, sa puso ng Britanya, London, UK. London, UK. Ito ang Channel Philippines Network, Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK. Sumasahing papawid 24 oras. 24 oras. Buong linggo. Sa www.pinoyradiouk.com. Ang mga pinakapaborito mga awitin, mga pinakaabangang programa, at mga sariwang balita at impormasyon mula at para sa mga kababayang Pilipino sa UK at sa buong mundo. Pinoy Radio UK. Pinoy Radio UK.
Lagi ako nahuhuli, trying to, swaying to the music. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Happy Thursday. Welcome po, to our usual every Thursday between 7:30 and 8:30 Immigration Corner. Yeah, welcome po. And it's good of you to join us. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon CABATBAT. I am a solicitor specializing in, amongst other things, immigration po. My firm is called Douglas Simon Solicitors, and I have now been, actually, it's now, of course, 2024, no? Panibagong taon ulit. I was looking at my post-qualification experience, and I tell you what, I have now been in law, no, nearly, I'm frightened to say, nearly 40 years. I could not, it's astonishing. I'm being post-qualification, so after qualified, the years of experience po is 31 years now, no? 31 years. Can you believe it? And when you factor in training ko, studies ko nga, and also additional studies to qualify as a solicitor, I'm now in law nearly 40 years. I think that's nearly twice the years of Paula, our amazing director, being alive, no? So it's been, sabi nga nila, time goes fast when you're having fun. Definitely is the case. Time goes fast nga when you're having fun. And I tell you, I'm not sure that I'm having fun necessarily at the moment with immigration, with the changes, no? Because there have been quite a lot of changes and quite worrying changes nga. And partly that's what we're going to be talking about today. But yeah, so it's so I'm so pleased nga you've been able to join us. Now, may bad news nga lang. My usual partner in crime, now Sonny LARAGAN, he can't join us today, unfortunately. So it's always sad, no, not to have him with us. But I'm sure he'll join us next week, nga. So we normally have a duet, but so you're going to have to put up with me, and I hope you keep me company. And and also I know it's lagi kong sinasabi nga ito, I do so enjoy dealing with the messages, yung mga questions nyo, and of course I enjoy very much imparting updates. But ang paborito ko is yung batian natin, which we will do nga later on. So please, don't forget to say hello. Because it is the most fun, at least sa akin. No? I hope that you also find it fun. Now, malaki pong topic nga natin ngayon. We normally have big topics, and certainly in the last since the beginning of December, no, the topics have been challenging and massive. No? Okay, now ayaw ko, nakikita nyo sa likod ko. I have fireworks at the back. Well, actually, of course, Happy New Year, huh? Is it the second Thursday na? Nakalimutan ko na. But it's no, I think that was last week, no? We had Thursday last week. Time's gone so fast. It has been astonishingly quick. And I'm still writing 2023, but of course now 2024 na nga tayo. But since December 2023, when announcements were made by our new Home Secretary, James Cleverly, on the 3rd of December, there have been an awful lot of concerns expressed by a lot of people. So ang topic po natin ngayon, this is probably the most topic of most concern to a lot of people at the moment is spouse visa application. Partly because of changes nga. So, ito pong topic natin, pag-uusapan natin batas nga ngayon, anong kailangan yung gawin if you're looking to make an application now before the changes happen. No? So, it ties in really with the last week topic nga natin to do with the change in the minimum income requirement. So, yung pag-uusapan. So, this is really a very practical, no? Session nga natin ngayon. So, anong kailangan nyo gawin ngayon kung gusto nyo magpasok nga ng application for spouse visa, for partner visa nga ngayon, mainly in relation to out-country application, but also we will deal with in-country application. So, it's a massive topic. But I wanted nga to, I always try to be practical pagka meron tayong on our Thursdays. That's what you want. You want to know, okay, kung itong gusto namin mangyari, anong kailangan namin gawin? No? So So we will be dealing with spouse visa applications as it stands now. Anong proseso, anong kailangan yung gawin, anong kailangan yung ebidensya, and then also we'll deal with how it would be potentially later on. But of course, a lot of things we may not, well, a lot of things we still don't know, mga details nga. But at least kung ang balak yung gawin nyo nga ngayon, gusto nyo magpasok application, especially out-country applications, magagaling kayo sa Pilipinas, for example, papasok nga kayo dito, what do you need to do? So so I hope that it's a useful and interesting topic for a lot. So it's I mean, as I say, immigration has been astonishingly busy since really 2022, no. It's been quite busy, but it's not. 2023 has been it probably hands down beats any other area of law in the way of challenges and changes. And then, of course, end of 2023, the announcements made, and 2024 is proving to be again going to be a very busy and challenging year for in immigration nga. Ang importante nga lang, okay, the changes they will happen. So ang importante po, ano bang pwede nyong gawin to try and take into account changes nga, no? Kung hindi nyo mahabol ng pagbabago, at saka anong pwede nyong gawin na nga ngayon, no? So it's today nga yung session po natin is going to be a very practical one. So hopefully you stay with us and keep us company. Now, yung batian po natin mangyayari mamaya. So today, we will deal nga obviously with this big topic nga natin, which is spouse applications. Okay. So in the meantime, for the moment, we'll go on a quick break, and then so don't go away. As soon as we're back, we'll launch into our massive topic. Okay. See you soon.
All natural, tasty, healthy, versatile, 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
Welcome back po, and thank you very much for joining me, and of course joining Paula, no, our talented director, on our usual Thursday, immigration corner. No, it's every Thursday po. We deal with all immigration concerns between 7:30 and 8:30. Now, usually, kung nakikita nyo yan, no? I'm kind of the lights flashing in and out. That's because someone's very kindly trying to fix my flashing light. So clearly we are live, no? Now, that's perfect. Now, ito po. That's the downside nga. Last week, mga asong nag-i-istorbo sa atin. But today, it's like light issues. But that's maybe it's just a little bit lighter kailangan ko ata. But otherwise, it's fine. Perfect. Salamat po. Now, welcome back to our usual immigration corner on this very cold the Thursday, 11th of January. Evening po, no? And unfortunately, my usual partner in crime, si Sir Sonny, is not with us today, but I'm sure he'll join us next week. So we usually do a duet. So you have me only tonight, of course, with Paula without whom I would not be on air. And I have you all to myself, and I'm quite looking forward to it. So as I said, ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon CABATBAT, broadcasting live from London. And we will be dealing as usual po with immigration and anything to do with immigration. I'm a solicitor of over 31 years post-qualification experience and nearly 40 years in law. Sinasabi ko nga kanina. Now, Paula is a youngster, no? And I think I've been in practice, never mind alive, but I've been in practice nga long and nearly twice as long as she's been alive, which is a little bit of ang bilis ng panahon. It's astonishing. I know it's I think the older you get, no, the somehow the faster time goes, which is of course it should not be, but it feels like it. Ang bilis ng panahon. But as with everything else, no, things move on, and immigration is certainly not no different. And the end of 2023 in December po, and certainly January 2024 is proving to be a very challenging time in immigration. So ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, ito, no, spouse applications. The reason why I want to tackle this subject nga today is, una nga po, kung handa na kayo o gusto niyo magpasok na nga ng application ngayon, ano bang kailangan yung pakita? Because there's confusion now about given the changes in the law, ano bang income requirement? Is it still the old law? Is it panibago na? And when is it going to change? Yung pag-uusapan po natin ngayon, kung magpapasok na nga kayo ngayon, today, Thursday, the 11th of January, ano bang kailangan nyo? Ano bang batas? No? And then, when is that likely to change? And when it changes, no, ano bang kailangan yung pakita? Or as far as we can, as far as we know the details that have been imparted nga. So without further ado, pag-usapan na nga natin, no, spouse visa applications. Now, itabi muna natin, no, the changes that were announced on the 3rd of December and also the 22nd of December 2023. Okay? I'll deal with those later on as regards, okay, ano mangyayari if you don't make the application now. So what do you need to do kung gusto nyo magpasok ng application na spouse? Generally, there are two types nga of applications, or rather route of application. So in-country and out-country application. So ibig sabihin, out-country is obviously kung magagaling kayo sa Pilipinas o sa anumang bansa, papasok kayo dito sa UK because you want to join someone who is settled in the United Kingdom. Yung focus po natin, yung asawa, yung spouse, or indeed yung fiancé is in the United Kingdom with settled status. By that, I mean a permanent resident, for example, or indefinite leave to remain, often called ILR, and of course, British. No? So, kung yun ang asawa nyo, spouse nyo nga dito, fiancé nyo, partner nyo nga dito, then you're making an application to join them. That is, yun pagtitingnan natin, out-country application mainly. But we will also touch on in-country application. So, ibig sabihin, nandito na kayo. No? Gusto nyo palitan yung visa nyo in order to be able to stay in the United Kingdom as a spouse. Anong kailangan nyo nga? So, tingnan po natin. Spouse visa application. I mean, I say spouse, but actually, it's the same for partners also. A spouse means kasal kayo. No? Either as kasal kayo within marriage, or indeed under the civil partnership route, okay, which is recognized nga in the United Kingdom, say for same-sex relationships. So, kasal nga kayo, no? You can also make an application as under the partner route kung nagsasama nga kayo na 2 taon o mahigit na 2 taon, and you can prove it. Okay? You do need to show that you are in a relationship akin to marriage, yung sabi nga nila, a minimum of 2 years, and you need to prove that really you've been living together that time. Now, much of the the requirements are mirrored nga, ganun pa rin kailangan yung pakita kung fiancé visa ang gusto nyo kunin. So, basically, kung papasok kayo, gusto pumasok kayo sa Pilipinas, no? Pasok nga kayo dito, so magpapakasal kayo dito, fiancé application. So, it's they're very similar, the fiancé application and the spouse application, yung mga requirements nga. So, anong kailangan yung pakita, no? So, unang-una, of course, nakasal nga kayo. No? So, meron kayong papeles na mapapakita nyo na either you've been living together 2 years or indeed you are married under civil, you married or you've undergone the civil partner under the civil partnership route. No? So, yun ang una. Kailangan nyo nang pakita that the relationship is subsisting, yun ang tawag nila. So, basically, it's continuing. So, kung nagpakasal nga kayo a year ago, hindi nandoon pa rin kayo nga sa Pilipinas, na you have continued your relationship. Of course, mas mahirap nga yun kung magkahiwalay nga kayo. So, make sure that you send things like, for example, mga remittances, no? Kung nagpapadala nga yung asawa nyo galing dito, o kaya meron kayong chats, no? Sometimes Facebook nga. Alam ko hindi naman nausong magsulatan, apart from, of course, if you're doing you're texting, for example, kung nagtatawagan kayo, no, the phone bills, for example, no, and as I've said, remittances, kung nagpapadala kayo direct bank to bank, highlight those. Kung nagpapadala yung partner nyo sa mga kamag-anak nyo sa atin, no, nanay, tatay nyo sa atin, again, highlight those, because why would he or she send money kung di nga sila related sa iyo? Now, so it's not they require evidence, hindi nga lang nakasal kayo, but actually that the relationship is ongoing. Okay? Importante din po yun, because the last thing you want is you make you submit an application, tapos makikita nga nila kasal kayo, pero hindi sila kumbinse na nagsasama nga kayo, na tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung relationship nyo. So, importante po yun. Hindi nga lang the legal basis of the application, but also that you have continued relationship. Now, ano pang kailangan nyo pakita? If you're coming in as a spouse nga or a partner, kailangan nyo din kung manggagaling kayo sa Pilipinas, what's called an A1 English language test. Unless you can show that you have you finished a course nga that was taught in English and it is of a level that satisfies the A1 test. Sometimes, no, rather than going through NAREC and mga ganoon, it's probably easier to just do the A1. No? A1 po, it's probably the easiest, no, level nga. Hindi iba yung B1. Yung B1 ang kailangan yung pakita kung magpapasok kayo indefinite leave to remain o papasok ka dito say on the work visa or and also indeed the student route, no. B1 po yung kailangan yung pakita. But A1 is much lower nga in the way of level. So most people, not all, but most people would pass the A1 usually without too much of a problem. No? Dahil sa atin naman, kung magaling nga sa Pilipinas, it's often that we're familiar nga, no, with English and the English language. Dahil manggagaling nga kayo sa Pilipinas, you also need to do a tuberculosis test. No? Basically, na wala kang TB. And that's easy enough to book. You book it online. Careful though na dahil meron lang isang clinic na pwedeng magbigay nung certificate, the TB test. So you can't just go to any doctor to say wala nga kayong TB. That's just going to be a waste of money. You need to go to one in I think it's still in Manila nga. And again, you can book that nga online. So as I say, kailangan pakita nyo, no, na kasal nga kayo kung yun ang basis, o kaya kung nagsasama nga kayo mahigit na 2 taon, meron kayong ebidensya nga, or if it's under the partner route, which is more unusual kung nasa Pilipinas nga kayo, because there's the civil partnership, because that's not actually conducted nga sa Pilipinas, but you can undergo that at the British Embassy, for example. So yun po, at saka subsisting relationship, and as I've said, A1 test, and of course the TB certificate. Now, all those, no, you need to provide evidence. But unang-una, kailangan nyo ipasok yung application. Applications, most applications now, in fact, 99.99% of applications now are online. Okay, so you choose the one that says partner route. no? And then meron silang drop-down list. You can save the application. You don't need to finish it immediately, but it's good to have on hand nga yung passports nyo, for example, kung kasal na nga kayo, your marriage certificate, all those things you should really have around you when you're making the application nga. Just be careful nga with yung mga questions, basahin nyo maigi, no? Because you don't, of course, want to make a mistake. So the application is made online, yun pong una. And then you can also book the biometric enrollment. Kailangan nyo nga din yun in order to be able to hand in your passport. Kung nandun kayo sa Pilipinas, then this UK Vax, for example, kung nandito kayo, it's a different process, but still you have to hand in your passport na kailangan nilang tatakan, or in this kung nandito nga kayo, potentially biometric nga, o pag-uusapan din natin biometric mamaya because there are changes there. So it's you need to submit the application nga, and then pagka napasok niyo yung application, you can book at the same time the biometric enrollment. Okay? Bago kayo mag-biometric enrollment, kailangan yung i-upload. Basically, you upload it remotely, no? So via the computer. Again, the documents in support. So for example, yung marriage contract nyo kung nasa Pilipinas kayo, o marriage certificate nyo kung nandito nga kayo. Yung A1 test nyo, TB certificate kung nasa Pilipinas nga kayo. So all those things can be uploaded. Okay? And makikita nyo doon sa application. It prompts you anong kailangan. And of course, kailangan nyo din silang bayaran. Now, first change, from the 16th of January po, so that will be next week, itataas nilang pagbayad. So in the United Kingdom, similarly also, if you're making an application from outside the country, the IHS, the Immigration Health Surcharge, itataas nila. At the moment po, it's £640 calculated per year. No? So kung 2.5 years ang visang kukunin nyo, which is what you would want for a spouse visa, it's 640 times obviously 2.5 years. So it's £1,560. Now, as at the 16th of January, tataasan nila by quite a lot actually. I think it's £1,035. So over £1,000 by comparison to £640. That would be the IHS. So it would be obviously a little over £2,500 per application for the IHS. No, so it goes up by quite a bit. That's the 16th of January. Kung hindi niyo mahabol, ay wala kang magagawa. No, it's better to be careful. No, na wag niyong madaliin. Tignan niyong maigi bago kayo magpasok ng application. And then, rather than find, okay, nagmadali nga kayo dahil nahabol nyo nga yung 16th of January, and then you find that you've made mistakes. Okay? Because that's just going to cause you probably more stress, and it'll cost you more money. No? So, importante po nga na wag nyo, kung hindi kayo handa muna, then don't submit the application. Make sure that you do it quite properly. Nevertheless, the IHS, the Immigration Health Charge fee, is going to go up. No? Now, kailangan yung pakita when you're submitting an application, and this is something that we discussed now before, income. No? Ang tawag po nila, minimum income requirement. Okay? Now, minimum income requirement po ngayon is £18,600. The £18,600, the minimum income requirement, applies for spouses, civil partners, partners who are unmarried but living together 2 years, and fiancés. Okay? So kahit nga balak nyo, magpapasal nga kayo dito sa UK, and of course, fiancé visas, alam nyo naman, 6 months lang bibigay muna sa inyo. Kailangan nyo pa rin pakita na ang income ng asawa nyo, kung it's an out-country application, ng partner nyo, if an out-country application is no less than 18,600. Okay? Now, we'll discuss the issue kung nandito nga kayo sa UK. But kung magagaling nga kayo sa Pilipinas, papasok nga kayo dito, kailangan nyo pakita at the moment, 18,600. That income requirement was introduced a little over 10 years ago. Since then, hindi naman na tumaas. And one argument nga sabi nila why they're looking to increase it is, of course, it's not gone up for the last 10 years. But frankly, if they were minded to increase it, and they perhaps should have increased it, no, incrementally, so hindi gan bigla nga, they should have done that. But anyway, it's a different discussion again. So 18,600 at the moment na kailangan yung pakita. Now, 18,600, the easiest way is kung you're employed, no? So in April's coming up again. So ano na tayo ngayon? January na tayo. So in a few months time, a couple of 2-3 months time, April's coming up, then you get your P60. Makikita nyo doon magkano bang nakita nyo for the last 12 months. So it goes from April to April, usually 5th of April to 6th of April nga per year. Now, kailangan yung pakita nga, as I say, that ang income nyo no less than 18,600 before tax. So sabi nila gross of tax, no? Or gross rather. So ibig sabihin nga bago kakaltesin nila yung tax, no? So yung nakikita nyo, so sabihin natin ay 200 pounds ang nabubulsa nyo, no, every week. That is net of tax. So ibig sabihin mas mataas ang income nyo. So tignan nyo yung payslip nyo. So where it says gross of tax, no? And kung hindi kayo sigurado kung magkano nga, go to your HR, the Human Resources section. Masasabi nila sa inyo magkano bang income nyo for the year. And also, kung meron kayong kontrata, kailangan nyo din pakita yung kontrata nga, no? Makikita nyo doon magkano ba. Sometimes, a lot of people, they get paid on top because they do additional work nga. Kung yun, then take the gross income, no, before tax po. So at the moment po, 18,600. How do you prove it? Payslips, right? But kung if you are self-employed, for example, then normally you show that by your tax returns. Okay, a lot of people who are self-employed would need to file their tax returns at the end of January. Okay, and so you may have it soon anyway, or you should perhaps have it soon. Okay. You can also add incomes, but ingat nga lang kayo, komplikado yon. Kung wala kayong sweldo, no? So nandito kayo pero wala kayong kita nga because you are a person of independent means, then you can, ang kailangan yung pakitang savings is no less than 62,500 pounds. 62,500. But some people have that, no? Where they have sold a house, for example, nandoon. So yun, kung yung papakita nyo, kung yun ang kailangan yung gamitin, yung savings nga, you need to be able to show that it's if you like, easily liquidated savings, easily access savings. So kung meron kayong ISA, okay po yun. Meron kayong, because you can surrender ISAs, no? Kung meron kayong savings sa bangko, okay nga din yun. Ang hindi nyo magagamit, sabihin natin meron kayong bahay, alam nyo yung bahay walang mortgage, no? And you would say, well, I have equity in the house of more than 62,500, for example. They won't accept that though, because it's not, from their point of view, an easily accessible, no, savings. So the biggest concern at the moment nga, from the 3rd of December 2023 announcement, followed up by the 22nd of December 2023 announcement, is yung minimum income requirement. So we'll deal with that ever so shortly. So ito po, kung handa na kayo, as I've said, you are definitely spouse, no, kasal nga kayo, or you've undergone civil partnership, o kaya fiancé nga kayo, gusto nyo pumasok nga dito, o nagsasama kayo and you can prove it 2 years plus, then and you have the A1 test, you have the TB test, existing genuineness of relationship, accommodation, no, don't forget, income also requires accommodation, so pagka nandito na kayo, kailangan yung pakita meron kayong titirhan. It doesn't have to be a place, oh gosh, there's again, like New Year's sa likod ko. Okay. Anyway, so it's genuineness nga of relationship, importante nga din po yun. And as I've said, it's it's important you satisfy all of those, okay? Yung accommodation nga pinag-uusapan natin. You don't have to own your place, no? Kung if you're renting a flat or indeed renting a room, okay din 'yon. Pero kailangan yung pakita nga may ebidensya na if you're lodgers that you have a contract nga that how much you're paying, na yung kwarto nyo sa inyo nga lang. Kung if it's a flat, normally you would have a tenancy agreement. Normally it's also an assured short-hold tenancy agreement. Okay nga lang daw yun. Kung nakikita na kayo, titira nga ang asawa nyo o partner nyo nga dito sa magulang nyo, nakatira kayo sa magulang nyo, hindi din problema. You can do that. Kailangan nyo nga lang sulat galing sa magulang nyo na pwede, may permiso, na pwede kang tumira nga dito, pwede tumira dito yung partner nyo, at saka kailangan nyo pakita anong legal status nila sa bahay. So kung sa kanila yung bahay mismo, then good to provide what's called an office copy entry search. It's a land registry, the document sasabihin doon, sino ba may-ari? No? You can do that online also. You can do that search. If it's rented sa pangalan nga nilang nanay tatay nyo, then again, yung kontrata nga, and you probably need a letter also from the agent, no, to say that na okay na nakatira doon partner nyo, pwede nga tumira yung asawa, yung fiancé doon din, no? So all those things you submit, as I've said, you make the application. Income requirement is the most concerning thing for a lot of people at the moment. So tingnan natin. So sabihin natin nagpasok nga kayong application ngayon, so today's the 11th of January, nagpasok kayong application, na-delay ang application, sabihin natin, no, for whatever reason. So kasalanan nyo, kasalanan ng home office, but na-delay. Ano bang mangyayari? So I get this question a lot. So ano bang gagamitin nila? Gagamitin ba nila yung 18,600, which is the current income requirement, no, as at the date of the application, o gagamitin ba nila yung mas mataas, kung ano man yun? Right? Now, anong sabi ng batas? Sabi ng batas, pagka the applicable law is the law at the time of the decision. So kung may ma-delay, no, hindi nila tingnan nga until March, by which time the income has gone up to from 18,600 to, wait for it, 29,000 pounds. Okay? And that's already a good thing, because before it was 38,700. And I'll discuss that with you. But at the moment, itataas nila to 29,000 pounds po. Probably in April, but maybe even in March. Okay? So yun ang kailangan nyo pakita. So kung magpapasok nga kayong application ngayon, tapos may delay, then it could be na mahabutan kayong panibagong batas. So ang payo ko, kung handa na nga kayo, ipasok nyo na nga ngayon. And hopefully, matatapos nga bago magbagong batas. But there's no guarantee dahil Henero na tayo ngayon, no? So we're only looking at February, March already. Yeah? So, okay, part of January. But kung handa na nga kayo, by the time you submit the application, you're already looking at mid-January, no? So, then we only have February, you have March, maybe. Okay? If it doesn't change nga in March. I cannot emphasize enough po, kung handa na kayo, ipasok nyo na ang application. At the moment, sa opisina namin, napaka-busy namin because it's ang payo namin, kung handa na kayo, papasok natin. So at the moment, really, we are making applications truly on a daily basis. No? So it's so kung ready na kayo, huwag kayong mag-delay, ipasok nyo na po. Now, sabihin natin naabutan kayo. So we're looking at March, no, 2024 now, or April 2024, nagbago. Ang magbabago po in relation to spouse is the income, the minimum income requirement. So 3rd of December, no, 2023, which is a few weeks nga lang ago, it was announced by our new Home Office Minister nga that yung income daw na 18,600, they would increase it to 38,700. I mean, I must say, nung the first time, no, na nabasa ko yun, I had to look again. Dahil akala ko, 38,000, 700. Maybe there was a typo, but it was 38,700. Gusto nilang taas. They were going to hike it up from 18,600 to 38,700. Astonishing. Now, understandably, mga tao were very concerned, and there were representations of concerns to the Home Office. And I think to take that into account, ginawa nila, they made another announcement, 22nd of December, so about 3 weeks nga later. So sabi nila, okay, itataas pa rin namin to 38,700, but not now. So 18,600 na nga ngayon, itataas namin to 29,000 pounds in probably March or April 2024. And then after that, itataas namin to 34,000. And then after that, the final increase to 38,700. Interestingly, hindi nila sinabi kung kailan nila itataas from 29,000 to 34,000 or from 34,000 to 37,000 to 38,700. Tingnan natin, but at the moment, so itataas nila, ang plano nga, it's going to go up from 18,600 pounds to 29,000 pounds. And I think that will be problematic for still a lot of people because 29,000 is a big amount. Okay, sa London, maybe you get more money because it's sorry, it's no, okay, I'm back on now. It's like technical hiccups now at the moment. So it's not it's gonna go up to a big amount, 29,000. That's pretty much sure. Hindi nga lang po natin alam to what. Now, there are a number of also unknowns. So, at the moment, kung dadalhin nyo din, may anak nga kayo, dadalhin yung mga anak nyo, and they're not British, then there's an additional 3,600 for the first child and 2,400 for subsequent children, So, dadagdag nga yun. Hindi nga lang 18,600, isang bata, plus 3,600. Now, hindi po natin alam kung itataas din nila yun. The 18,600, of course, 29,000 pounds, you're looking at over 10,000 pounds. So, ano bang ibig sabihin? Tataas ba nila to say, I know 3,000 rather than 3,600, would it go up to 4,500 or 5,000 pounds? Hindi natin alam. O hindi ba nila itataas? Hindi din natin alam kung tataasan nila yung savings requirement. Dahil at the moment, kung wala nga kayong kita, kailangan nyo pakita 62,500. It doesn't make sense. It would not make sense kung hindi nila itataas yun. Because it's calculated really, the 62,500 is calculated in accordance with yung income nga. So I would imagine itataas din nila. But 62,500 is already a big amount, no? So, I mean, is it going to go up to 100,000? Hindi natin alam, no? At the moment also, with income and indeed accommodation, the Home Office would take into account what's called third-party support. So, kung tutulong nga nanay, tatay nyo nga dito, so they would look at that. We don't know, is that going to stay? No? I hope so. Because it should be taken into account kung meron nga tutulong sa inyo. So it's at the moment it's difficult to say 29,000 and then ano pa. That's why another reason why kung handa na nga kayo, then ipasok nyo na. Do not delay. Because I say again, ang batas na titingnan nila, ang batas na i-apply nila, yung batas at the date of the decision, not at the date of the application. Could be that they're challenged, but I would not count on that. So, Hinero na po tayo, no? You're only looking at a few weeks really to March, if it's going to happen in March. Hopefully not March, but rather April. But you don't really want to be caught out kung pwede. Okay. Now, let's deal quickly with in-country applications. So, sabihin natin, nandito na nga kayo. Meron kayong nakilala, you want to marry in the United Kingdom. So, sabihin natin, estudyante nga kayo, o kaya you're here under the work route, no, skilled worker route, for example, or indeed you're here on something else na may visa nga kayo. Now, would the change in income, for example, still apply? Absolutely, it would still apply. Yung nga lang po, dahil nandito kayo, meron kayong visa nga, no? Sabihin natin you're here under the skilled worker route, no? For example, carer nga kayo. Ang income nyo, sabihin natin 20,000 pounds. Ang income nung fiancé nyo o asawa nyo nga dito is also 20,000 pounds. Pwede nyong ipagsamahin and calculate it together yung income. So 20,000 plus 20,000 obviously is 40,000 pounds. 40,000 pounds, sapat na sapat yon to 18 as regards 18,600. But also, sabihin natin taasan nila to 29,000, okay pa rin kayo. So as long as you're here working properly, okay, then you can take into account nga yung income nyo. So kung nandito na nga kayo, hindi siguro magiging problema yung 29,000 probably. Okay? Sometimes nga, especially kung may mga bata, no, sometimes only one person really would work. Kung yung isa part-time nga lang. Okay? Again, be careful, no? Because at sabi nga din nila, kung nandito na nga kayo, they want to make sure that families are not separated. Now, hindi nga lang natin alam, ano ba ibig sabihin nun? I mean, does that mean that 18,600 pa rin ang i-apply nga nila kung nandito na kayo on a spouse visa? That's not clear. But what is clear is at the moment po, no, pwede yung pagsamahin yung income nyo nga at saka income ng asawa nyo. So, I don't think ditong 29,000 I don't think it would necessarily be as problematic, no, as if the applicant is in the UK already. Dahil yung nga, kung pwede kayo magtrabaho nga. Now, itong income requirement nga na ito, it applies across board. As I've said, fiancés also, kung balak nyo kunin yung fiancé nyo to be able to enter the UK and marry in the United Kingdom, then at the moment, 18,600 kailangan nyo din pakita. Beware though, no, yung kung fiancé visa nyo, sabihin natin nakapasok ng fiancé nyo dito, and 18,600 ang kita mo. Hindi ka pwedeng magtrabaho kung fiancé visa ka. 6 months visa ang bibigay sa iyo, hindi ka pwedeng magtrabaho kung yun ang visa mo nga. Now, pagkakinasal na nga kayo, hindi ka pa rin pwedeng magtrabaho. Pwede ka nga lang magtrabaho pagka napalitan na yung visa mo from a fiancé to that of a spouse. Then you can work, but not before. Kung magtrabaho ka before that, that's in breach of your immigration condition. So, ingat nga kayo. I say that because of course, kung you can't, even if you have an offer of employment, kung fiancé visa nga kayo, hindi nyo pwedeng idagdag yun dun sa income ng asawa nyo. Okay? To be able to make up the 29,000 pounds. So again, ingat nga kayo. Okay? So the changes that have been announced, the minimum income requirement changes nga, can be problematic, for a lot of people. So ingat kayo, pero kung handa na nga kayo, do not delay. Importante po yun, no? Because otherwise you may find na maabutan nga kayo. So but yeah, so it is as I've said, it's a very challenging, area of law at the moment, immigration, and for practitioners nga like me, it's it is in a way exciting, but it's worrying at the same time. Dahil nga hindi natin alam what are these changes, what are the details behind the changes. So, but don't panic, but do take action. Importante nga yun, but don't panic nga. Now, ito pong as usual, yung mga pinag-uusapan nga natin, try and upload it to our website. I'll give you the website details nga mamaya. So kung interesado nga kayo o you want to just see, you want to send it to someone else, no? Kamag-anak nyo, kaibigan nyo, o indeed yung partner nyo, then I'll upload it on our website. So hopefully that was of interest to you. And as I say, handa na kayo, magpasok kayong application. Hindi pa kayo handa, don't panic. Get it ready, okay? And submit it as soon as you possibly can, just in case maabutan nga kayo. Kahit maabutan kayo, again, don't panic, no? At the moment there's this sabi nga na, if there are exceptional circumstances, no? Then it could be that kahit nga kulang ang income nyo o income ng asawa nyo, it could be that you can still make the application nga. But I would not rely on the exceptional circumstances, because I know from experience nga na mahirap pakita nga to satisfy exceptional circumstances. But there you go. Hopefully that was of interest to you. Now, Paula, my favorite part of well, actually, next my second favorite part. I think may tayong mga questions, ano, pag-usapan natin. So, okay, galing po to kay Isa L. So, Lisa, no. Hi, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. Nag-divorce po ako dito sa UK, pero hindi pa po na-submit for acknowledgement sa Pinas, since kinasal po kami dito ng ex-husband ko. Okay, alright. Then, kinasal po ako sa kapwa Pinoy sa Europe. Currently, nasa Pinas po siya. Oh, okay. Gusto po sana namin mag-apply ng spouse visa para makapunta po siya dito. Kailangan po ba namin mag-acknowledge muna ng divorce sa Pinas bago po mag-apply ng spouse visa? Thank you po in advance. Okay. No, hindi mo yung divorce mo, okay, dito ka kinasal, no? Sabi mo and then so you divorce sa UK, and then kinasal, so sabi mo dito kinasal ka o acknowledge that kinasal kayo doon, so sa Pilipinas. So kinasal kayo sa Pilipinas, kinasal ka sa asawa mo ng ex-husband mo sa Pilipinas, pero you divorce in the United Kingdom. Now, you then married someone else in Europe. So kailangan nyo bang acknowledgement nga in Philippine law? The answer is no, Isa, dahil ang the thing that they would apply, the law that they would apply would be, of course, the matrimonial rules in the United Kingdom po, okay? So English law. So if you divorce quite properly in the UK, and you did, it seems, and you married, okay, in Europe quite properly also, the ibig sabihin, you are married regardless of any acknowledgement nga sa Pilipinas. So if you have in the olden days, ang tawag nga decree absolute, yun ang kailangan pakita, or ngayon, since April 2022, you have the final order. So you have the conditional order and the final order. Kailangan yung final order to be able to show na tapos na nga yung divorce. Then you quite properly married, and that marriage, of course, will be or should be, no, not just acknowledged but accepted by the Home Office. So you can make an application for spouse visa. Isa, no? Pinag-usapan nga natin kanina, do not delay, no? Because apart from the issue of income, which hopefully will not be an issue for you, hindi nga natin alam kung ano pang gagawin niya. So kung handa na kayo, and it sounds like handa na nga kayo, do not delay. So, ewan ko, meron pa ba tayong mga questions, Paula, before we get to the batian part? I'm so looking forward to batian part. So, okay. So, galing po, Paula. Si Paula to, no? Paula. So, sabi niya, Attorney Lira, I know a British guy who wants children via surrogacy. Okay. In the Philippines, surrogacy is when a woman cares and gives birth to a baby for another person or couple. Let's say someone in the Philippines has given birth for the British guy dahil nga sa surrogacy. Ano bang batas na madadalang baby sa UK? Question from Anonymous. This is an area of law that is a bit of a minefield, frankly, because the surrogacy rules are quite complex. Now, it's not, of course, they would be considered nga parents, but be careful. Demi Paula, ito, I think it's ang payo ko, given the complexity of the surrogacy rules, and to fall foul of the surrogacy rules, you may be, or they may be at risk of criminal proceedings. So, okay, and that applies actually, across board. So, ang payo ko, they must seek legal advice and detailed legal advice, because it's not the surrogacy rules as things stand. It's not the only thing they need to also look out for. It's also, of course, immigration rules pursuant to surrogacy rules, and they need to make sure that they followed the process to the letter. Okay, the surrogacy rules are adoption already is it's a complex area of law, to do, especially now with immigration. But because we are Hague Convention signatories, it's a little bit easier than perhaps before. But the surrogacy rules are even worse in complexity and in applicability. So, ang payo ko sa kanila, they must seek proper, detailed legal advice. Do not just it's not something to that you can simply read about, which is complex. And if you fall foul of it, as I say, there could be criminal proceedings. I think that would be my advice to them, and probably the best tip: get advice. Now, meron pa ba tayong mga question? Oh, Beth L. Oh, okay. So, good evening, Attorney Lira and Sir Sonny. May questions ang mahihingi lang po ng advice regarding po sa son ko. Okay. UK born po siya. Ang plano po namin, nadalhin po siya pabalik sa Pinas. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, we're facing a crisis situation when it comes to childcare because of me and my husband's working patterns and hours. Oh, I'm so sorry, Beth. No, so we both come up with the most difficult and tough decision that for the meantime, we will bring our 8-month-old baby back to the Philippines. I'll be applying for indefinite leave to remain in 2025. No, in question, yeah. I don't know if there's a second page to the question, Paula. Okay, here are my questions. Are there any specific requirements that we need to comply with before flying to the Philippines? Unang yan. 2, will it have any effect on my baby when the time comes na kukunin namin siya pabalik ng UK in 2025 to 2026? And then 3, can I still apply for British citizenship for him once he's back here in the UK? Right. Lastly, will there be a possible problem in the future? What about GP, presumably doctor, you mean, no? Okay, it's quite, there are obviously quite a lot of questions. Let's see if we can deal with the questions in turn. Unang-una, I would need to know really kung anong status ng ama niya. Sabi mo sa akin, you clearly do not yet, you can apply for British citizenship, no? Sabi mo in 2025, but are you now indefinite ka na ba? No? Dahil kung indefinite ka na ngayon, tapos yung baby mo pinanganak nung indefinite visa ka na, so hindi ka pa British but indefinite ka na nga, no? Then you may find that yung baby mo can in fact get a British passport already. Okay? But that depends really kung anong status mo, kung indefinite ka na nga. O yung ama. Kung kasal kayo o hindi, it doesn't matter. So kung yung ama, either British or indefinite na din nga siya, then it could be that you find your baby is already British anyway. So that wouldn't be a problem. So ibig sabihin kung British passport na siya, kung uuwi mo siya, and kung gusto mo kunin, he remains to be British. You know? Kung hindi pa siya British, then it's a bit more complex. Kung iuwi mo siya and then later on you can become British, then there's the possibility nga that you can apply for what's called registration ng bata. Ultimately, if he's registered, then he also becomes British nga. That nung pinanganak nga siya, since his birth, you then obtained citizenship in the United Kingdom. So the worst case scenario, sabihin natin nga, naging British ka dito, for whatever reason, you need to apply for him to enter the United Kingdom to join you nga. There you need to show, of course, anak mo nga siya, you can support him in the United Kingdom, and then he joins you nga as dependent. Okay? And again, then, ang bisang bibigay sa kanya, dahil British ka na by then, o indefinite ka na by then, is indefinite leave to remain. But I would be interested to know kung anong status ng asawa mo. And as I say, kung indefinite ka na nga ngayon. Now, sabi mo nga doon, will there be any problems? Potentially, there will be problems. But as long as you're in the United Kingdom, ang bata pa nga siya, asawa mo nga nandito, and you have status in the United Kingdom, you should be able to bring him back into the United Kingdom, either if you're dependent or indeed a British citizen already, no? So, because you obtain registration, or it could be, as I say, he's entitled now to a British passport, no? Yung sabi mo, ano ba problema? What about GP? I think you mean GP as in doctor. If the child is what's called ordinarily resident in the United Kingdom at saka meron siyang status, no? Then he would be entitled to NHS care, as you and I know, because he is in the UK, or he's back in the United Kingdom nga, with ordinary residence, and of course with status. And of course, being British does not mean you have ordinary residency, okay? And that's also a common misconception ng mga tao. Kala nila kung British nga sila, balik sila dito, they would be entitled to NHS care. Hindi po yung tama. Hindi nga lang kailangan yung pakita may status kayo, British kayo, for example, or indefinite nga kayo dito. Kailangan yung pakita you are ordinarily resident in the United Kingdom. Dito kayo nakatira, no? So kung British kayo, but you actually just coming in to visit, no? Then the hospital may say you're not entitled to NHS care. So that's the thing to bear in mind, no? If you're worried nga about medical issues, no? So good luck with that. It's probably been a very difficult, no, decision for you to make. But sometimes kailangan yung magsakripisyo, and I can see that. So the only thing again I would say is don't leave it too long, no? Na kunin siya makabalik nga dito, because there you may find that the longer, you know, a child is separated from you, it could be that they say you don't have sole responsibility, but the parental responsibility, the responsibility has been transferred sa nanay mo, sa ate mo, sa atin. So good luck, and keep us informed, and hopefully I was able to answer some of your questions. Oh, bati ang time. Great. Okay. Galing po from the lovely Emmeline Rafael, Miss Rafael. Good evening, Sonny and Attorney Lira and Derek Pao and everyone. Happy Thursday, and congratulations, Attorney Lira, watching from Finland. Oh my gosh, Miss Rafael. I hope you're having good time. Ang lamig siguro sa Finland, no? Wow. Okay, but it's so nice of you to tune in from Finland. Oh, hopefully you have a good break. Gigi, we love Gigi. Gigi Lamparo. Good evening, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. Happy Thursday, all viewers. God bless everyone. Also, Direct Pao. Absolutely. Have a lovely evening. Ikaw nga din, Gigi. Thanks for tuning in. Wala nga lang si Kuya Sonny ngayon. Hopefully he's not unwell, but hopefully he'll be able to join us next week. Congratulations. Oh, Gigi. Congratulations, Attorney. Long service. I tell you what, Gigi, it always surprises me, no? That I have been in law now nearly 4 decades. 4 decades! Can you imagine? My gosh. And truly, I've seen so many changes. So many changes, and some good, some bad, no? Si Sol! Hi, Sol. Sol V. Mesias. Have a good day. Ikaw nga din, Sol. You too, no? Hopefully you're inside. Ang lamig nga ngayon. But saying that, tingnan nyo, no? I'm wearing a short sleeve because I had I wore a jacket nga kanina, no? But I have Philippine uh, the weather. No, I love Philippine weather. I can't bear the cold. So all the heaters are on really high up. Oh, si Egay the guy. Edo, no, freezing Thursday to Mr. Sonny, Tony Lira, Derek Pao, and to the viewers working from home today. Oh, lucky you. Na, napakalamig. Looking forward to lots of learning again, listening to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Thanks, Egay the guy. We love Egay the guy. We do. Yeah, he's so good nga. Very clever also, no, si Edgardo. Very clever. But yeah, hopefully you're inside. Analu! Oh, she's so lovely. Analu Antepuesto. Amazing Thursday evening, Attorney Lira, Kuya Sonny, Dark Pao, and to all, keep warm. Oh, tama ka. And keep safe, everyone. God bless us. Yan, tama ka, Analu. Oh, Analu, if you have not had your flu jab, actually, I haven't had my flu jab yet. Uh, have your flu jab, no? It's to everyone, no? Kung pwede, if you haven't yet, you should do it. Uh, Virginia Elona. Good evening, Attorney Lira and Sonny. A happy holiday season's greetings from Sweden. Good luck and God bless. God bless, no? Virginia, it's yeah, I mean, hopefully hindi ganun malamig dyan. Ay, naku, napakalamig dito. So last week, we even had a flurry of snow. Meron kong kaibigan sa Germany. Sabi ko sa kanya, I filmed the snow, no? Just against the windshield because I was driving with someone at the time, so I was not filming and driving at the same time. So I was a passenger. Anyway, so I was filming, driving, and the flurry of snow coming against the windscreen, and so I very excitedly I text the video to a friend of mine in Germany. Sabi ko, oh, look, tingnan nyo. It's snowing here, sabi ko. Sabi niya, that's not snow. Because of course, it's Germany is just, no, there you get real snow, no, the kind of, the height of my height kind of snow, no. Yeah, apparently that was not snow. Anyway, so I ko sino pa bumabati, Rudy, nakita ko kanina. Yeah, our lovely, the Librojo clan. Happy New Year, sabi po niya. We love and miss you all, beautiful people. Team Librojo. Yeah, kami din po. I've missed you, Mr. Librojo. And hopefully everything's okay. Pamilya fine, ano? Oh, Miss Duay, the other half of the lovely, lovely Duay family. Irene Dua, hello po, Attorney Lira and Kuya Sonny. And to all the lovely viewers, happy to tune in again. Salamat po, Irene. She is so, I've met her. So, si Irene, she is lovely. She's so nice. And of course, no, she would be, because of course, her other half, no, is also lovely. Okay? May Tigbao Vargas. I love her name. Parang artista, no? May Tigbao Vargas. Good evening and happy Thursday po sa mga hosts at sa lahat ng viewers. God bless. God bless, May, no? Hopefully you will, and hopefully you're inside. Napakalamig nga ngayon, no? It's at least hindi nga umuulan. But I think kung uulan, it will probably snow. Lizzie, Miss Hobbs. Lizzie Hobbs, hi. Miss Hobbs, Happy New Year po sa lahat. Happy New Year, Miss Hobbs. Hopefully you're well, no? And inside, no? And hopefully you've had your flu jab. Yeah, I'm a bit obsessed with the flu jab, but having said that, I haven't actually managed to make my appointment nga, no? But if, yeah, I'm reminding people, but I should remind myself actually. I'll watch this back. Tapos I will say, oh my gosh, yeah, I have to do my flu jab. And of course, you can do your flu jab in practically anywhere, pharmacy, for example. So I might just go to Boots or something. Anyway, that was I hope that you enjoyed it. A lot of doom and gloom in immigration at the moment, but nga po, na alam nyo kung magbabago, na alam nyo ano bang mangyayari. So you are forewarned and there you are prepared, forewarned and prepared, no? But yeah, so it's oh gosh, no, I'm bilis ng panahon nga. It's nearly 9 o'clock na, no? But look, it's been a real pleasure po, no? Bit of our immigration corner on a Thursday evening, and it's so good of you to to join us po. And I'm sorry nga, wala si Sir Sonny ngayon, but I hope that you nevertheless enjoyed our show. Now, so, pinag-usapan po natin kanina nga yung spouse applications. Dahil importante nga, alam nyo, ano ba kailangan nyo gawin kung handa na nga kayo ngayon? Anong kailangan nyo gawin kung hindi pa kayo handa? Maabutan kayo ng panibagong batas. Now, the second part, of course, that's probably something we will need to discuss again as and when alam na we get more details nga. But in the meantime, kung yung pinag-usapan po natin nga ngayon, I will upload it on our website. Ang website po namin itong www.douglas-simon.com. If you go on the news section, doon po nyo makikita. In the meantime, kung meron po kayong mga questions, you want me to discuss a little bit more nga, a bit more information about your circumstances, email me. Email ko po ito, cabatbat@douglas-simon.com. Telephone number po namin, 0203-375-0555. Kung mag-i-email po kayo sa akin, pwede niyo po bang ilagay sa subject, no, Immigration Corner. Dahil ang problema ko, and it's a very bad habit of mine nga, no, never ever do it. I open my emails at strange times, no. Magising ako alas 6 ng umaga, I look at my email. It's a horrible habit. And problema ko nga din, I open it, minasa ko, I close it. And it could be na hindi ko, kung bago nga kayong inquiry, I may not remember, no, your email address. I probably won't, actually. So I will never be able to find your email again because the following day, I have another 100 emails to deal with. So kung lalagay yung Immigration Corner, I try to look for anything with message Immigration Corner. And so yung emails nyo will come up again. So makikita ko. Kung mag-email po kayo sa akin, meron kayong inquiry nga, of course, nandun nga email nyo pagka nagpadala kayo. Pwede ba, ilagay nyo din yung number nyo, telephone number nyo. Because it could be that I can simply say to you, you can yes or no, or kailangan yung tingnan. Sometimes also, it's just a little bit more complex than just something I can email my reply to. So it could be na kailangan ko kayong tawagan. Kung gusto nyo mag-email sa akin Tagalog, hindi din problema, of course, no? I mean, it's yung nga lang, problema ko kasi sometimes I dictate my emails, especially kung mas mahaba nga, no? And also just because it's my keyboard is not really Tagalog friendly, so it could be that I email back in English. Kung gusto nyo mag-email sa akin Tagalog, hindi po problema. Okay, I'll try my best nga to also deal with it. So so yung nga po, importante nga na handa nga kayo, pero kung hindi pa kayo handa, huwag niyong madaliin, no? Be better to be ready and prepared, no? But kung ready na kayo, do not delay. I say it again, please do not delay because the minimum income requirement plus potential other changes, no, may make it difficult for you to enter the United Kingdom. No? So handa na kayo, submit it. Hindi pa kayo handa, get it ready. Okay, sooner rather than later. But anyway, so there you go. So hopefully nga you enjoyed that, and I certainly did. I always do, no? Especially mga batian. Thank you very much for for joining us, no? So it's I know it simply leaves me to say good night po from me and of course from Paula. On this Thursday cold evening in broadcasting live from London, and hopefully you will join us again next week on our next Immigration Corner. I was the second or third one in January 2024. Lots of changes, so please please tune in. I'm sure it will be as challenging as it's been in the last few weeks. So I'll try and keep you in touch. But anyway, so it's thank you again po for joining us for the moment. Yeah. Good night po. And again, thank you for keeping us company. Good night.